Very important concept I decided to talk about when managing these risks that is related to the changes in the execution. So, managing risk related changes is the vital part of the project execution. As risks evolve due shifting conditions, their impact on the project timeline, cost, and deliverables must also be assessed. So, in this session, we'll talk about how these risk related changes could arise because of the evolving project condition and changes, how to implement an effective management to ensure the alignment with project goals of these risks. We'll also emphasize the importance of having a clear communication and structured evaluation, which is critical to manage risks related changes. And to start with talking about evaluating the risk register or triggers and indicators. So, evaluating risk triggers involves identifying and analyzing early warning signs. It's like monitoring these risks triggers regularly or setting a thresholds to anticipate these changes. You may also use these indicators like the cost overruns as one of these key indicators, or maybe having a trend of delays, also schedule delays or external events. So you can set one of these triggers as one of these important indicators that you need action against. So also you can prioritize the high impact triggers for an immediate attention. For example, here let's say that there is a spike on raw materials prices in one of these construction projects, which might indicate that there is a potential cost risk coming on the way. So monitoring these indicators allows the project team and the project manager to implement mitigation strategies proactively, such as, for example, looking in supplier contracts and to stabilize costs of these materials. Communicating the risks or the stakeholders with the risk status. So clear communication, we already have highlighted many times about the risk status, build the trust and ensures the collaboration. It ensures that by communicating these statuses to the stakeholder, it ensures that stakeholders are informed of these emerging risks and to response plans which make them feel trust and confidence about you as a project manager. May also use the dashboard or reports or regular updates to keep these stakeholders informed and in regular ways. Encourage two-way communication to incorporate stakeholder inputs. It's very important to have this two-way communication between you and the stakeholders because they are the one who might have, let's say, a better experience in managing these, let's say, risks also with the team, rather than just dealing with it as alone or as a team of the project managers. So ensures that you have an open communication and two-way communication with the stakeholders. They can support you with setting, say, a right or an effective mitigation strategies to these risks. The using the decision trees for risk responses. So decision trees helps the project managers to weigh the pros and cons of a various risk response strategies. Again, decision trees here it provide a structured way to evaluate the risk responses and it analyze all of the possible outcomes and probabilities and impacts. So ensure that you select the most beneficial response strategy based on, let's say, the decision tree or depends or on the impact or the outcomes of that let's say response strategy. For example, let's take here an example where is an IT infrastructure project. The decision tree analysis could evaluate whether to develop an in-house solution for a critical system or purchase it from a third party as a third party product. Considering the factors like the cost, the ability, and the time, and these solutions, you can take a decision to mitigate this risk. Integrating the risk related changes with the execution plans. So, again, integrating the risk related changes ensures that the execution plans remains realistic and achievable. And by ensuring the alignment of these changes with the project scope and schedule and budget, and updating the risk registers and change logs to reflect these adjustments, you ensure that the team also are informed of these modification. It ensures that you have, let's say, a successful execution and successful monitoring by integrating all of these risk-related changes to the execution plans, not leaving anything behind. So now let's look at one of these real-world examples when managing the risk-related changes. So let's take a scenario where is a retail expansion project. There is a supplier has threatened the project with a delay in delivering store, let's say, furnitures, which pose a significant risk the launch time or the launch timeline. So the launch timeline has been, let's say, threatened by these delays of, say, fixtures that the suppliers have no idea of. By re-evaluating as a project manager, by re-evaluating the schedule and securing an alternative supplier, keeping the stakeholder informed, the project team can successfully mitigate the risk and deliver on time. Here is the key benefits for having a proactive managing the risk related changes. So proactively managing the risk related changes, it minimizes the disruption, fosters a culture of adaptability. Also, it reduces the project disruptions and improves the outcomes. Also, it could enhance the team adaptability and problem solving skills, as well as it could strengthen the stakeholder confidence and project management and you as a project manager capability. Now let's talk about monitoring the risks responses over the time, which is part of the monitoring these risks and to the response strategies. So when monitoring the risk responses, ensure that you have a regular monitoring and regular review to ensure that they remain effective as the condition could evolve and the environment could change, the suppliers' contract could change, the material cost could change, many things in this world could change. So ensures that you have a close monitoring to these responses, ensure that all of these risk mitigation strategies remain effective. So continuously assess the effectiveness of the risk responses. Also conduct a regular reviews to identify any emerging risks or gaps in your plans and incorporate the feedback for continuous improvement. You may also leverage these lessons learned from the previous project. Also, you can document your lessons learned for the future risk management. So capturing the lessons learned in terms of managing the risk related changes, it helps improving the future projects. So you as a project manager, you have a responsibility to ensure that you have documenting all of these successful strategies and the missed opportunities to be learned on the future projects. May also share the insights with the other teams and with other project managers to avoid them falling into the same issues, if any. And to summarize our session on talking about managing the risk related changes, we say that managing risk related changes ensures that the project remains on track despite of the evolving challenges. We looked into these techniques like the decision trees and maintaining clear communication and continuously monitoring the responses to help mitigate the project disruptions. By leveraging also the lessons learned, organizations can refine their risk management practices, ensuring the greater resilience in the future projects. All of these effective management of, let's say, risk-related changes, it ensures the project stability and it enhances the project outcomes to drive the improvement within the future projects.